My name is Ethan Carter, and at 19, I thought I had the world figured out. I grew up in the suburbs of Phoenix, Arizona, where life was a mix of sunny days, nighttime trips to Taco Bell, and the kind of reckless confidence that only teenagers have. I was a normal guy. Decent grades, a part-time job at a skate shop in Tempe, and a close group of friends who lived for skateboarding, loud music, and constantly pushing boundaries. But one night, one bad decision set off a chain of events that led me to jail and taught me lessons I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. It was a muggy July evening in 2018, when the desert heat didn't let up even after sunset. My best friend, Jake Miller, had just gotten an old Chevy Camaro, handed down from his older brother who had moved to California. Jake was obsessed with that car, constantly tinkering with it in his yard in Mesa, blasting Nirvana on a portable speaker. That evening, he texted me and our friend Mia Torres to meet at our usual spot, an empty parking lot behind a shopping center on Apache Boulevard. The plan was simple. Cruise around, maybe stop by a party we'd heard about in Scottsdale, and feel like kings of the world. By 10 p.m., the three of us were already in the Camaro, windows down, the radio blasting good old Green Day. Mia, always unpredictable, pulled a couple of beer cans from her backpack, grinning like she'd hit the jackpot. "Relax, Ethan," she said when I hesitated. I didn't drink much, my parents were strict about that, but I didn't want to be a buzzkill. So I took a sip, the bitter taste hitting my tongue, and Jake floored the gas, the car roaring down the empty streets of Tempe. We made it to the party in Scottsdale, a huge house in a gated community belonging to some guy whose parents were out of town. It was packed with people, kids from all over the valley, red plastic cups everywhere, and a backyard pool glowing neon blue under the stars. Jake was in his element, charming everyone with his loud laugh and stories about his brother's wild days in Los Angeles. Mia was dancing with friends from her art class, and I was just trying to keep up, feeling a bit out of place but enjoying the high of youth and freedom. Then everything went downhill. Jake, who had already had quite a few drinks, got into an argument with a guy named Tyler, an athlete from a rival school in Chandler. It started over something trivial. Tyler claimed Jake had spilled beer on his new Nike sneakers. Words escalated to pushes, and before I knew it, Jake swung. The party turned into chaos. Shouts, flying cups. Mia grabbed my arm, yelling, "We gotta get out of here!" We dashed to the Camaro, Jake stumbling, but still acting cocky, shouting insults over his shoulder as we sped off the driveway. And that's when I heard the sirens. Jake was driving like a madman, weaving through the quiet streets of Scottsdale, red and blue lights flashing in the rearview mirror. "Relax, it's fine," he kept saying, but his knuckles were white on the steering wheel. Mia was panicking in the back seat, yelling for him to stop, but Jake was too stubborn, or too drunk, to listen. I should have said something, should have grabbed the wheel or made him stop. But I was frozen, my heart pounding in my chest. We didn't get far. The cops blocked us off not far from McDowell Road, and within minutes we were face down on the asphalt, hands behind our backs. The officer who cuffed me was calm, almost bored, like he'd done this 100 times before. "You kids picked the wrong night to play Fast and Furious," he said, as he led me to the patrol car. They found the open beer cans in the car, and Jake blew way over the limit on the breathalyzer. Mia and I weren't drunk, but we were underage, and the cops weren't feeling lenient. We were all arrested. Jake for DUI and assault, Mia and me for underage drinking, and later for being accessories to Jake's reckless driving. Maricopa County Jail was nothing like I'd imagined. It was cold, sterile, and reeked of bleach and despair. I spent the night in a holding cell with a guy who kept muttering to himself and another who wouldn't stop crying. Images of my parents' faces flashed through my mind, my mum's disappointment, my dad's quiet rage. I'd never been in trouble like this before. My job at the skate shop, my plans to start community college in the fall, my entire future. It all felt like it was slipping away. The next morning, they released Mia and me with a court date and a lecture about making better choices. Jake wasn't so lucky. He was facing serious charges. My parents picked me up, and the ride home was silent, except for my mum's occasional sobs. I felt like I'd let everyone down, including myself. Court was a blur. I got community service and a fine, which I paid off by picking up extra shifts at the skate shop. Jake ended up with a year of probation and lost his license. Mia and I drifted apart after that night. The guilt and shame were too much to bear. But the real punishment wasn't the legal consequences. It was how that night forced me to grow up. After that, I started taking life more seriously. I enrolled at Mesa Community College, got a second job at a coffee shop in Gilbert, and stopped hanging out with people who thought rules were optional. I learned that one bad decision can trigger a chain reaction, affecting not just you, but everyone around you. Jake's still my friend, but he's different now. Quieter, as if he's carrying the burden of that night too. Mia moved to Tucson for school, and we text occasionally, but things aren't the same. That night in Scottsdale taught me something I'll never forget. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want without consequences. It's about knowing who you are and what you're willing to risk. I'm 25 now, working as a graphic designer in Phoenix, and I have a life I'm proud of. But every time I drive past McDowell Road, I remember that night, the sirens, the handcuffs, the fear, and it reminds me to stay grounded, to think twice, and to never take a single moment for granted.